We are going to run through what you need to know about price gouging and rental housing.
In the wake of two of the most destructive fires in state history, a spike in rent gouging across LA County.
As if the LA wildfire stories aren't heartbreaking enough, now we're hearing about crazy stories when these folks are trying to move into rental housing and facing bidding wars and having to pay double or triple the rent. Is this legal? No, not under California Penal Code 396, the price gouging law that's currently in effect. We're going to explain who is covered by the price gouging law. It's more than you'd expect. We're going to tell you what to do if you're a victim of price gouging. If you're thinking of renting out your place for the first time, we're going to show you how to calculate that rent and follow the law. And stick around to the end because we're going to show you 3 places you can report price gouging. California Penal Code 396 was put into place just after the Northridge earthquake in 1994. It has been amended through the years and went into effect when an emergency was declared because of the wildfires, and it'll be in effect for over a year and may be extended beyond that. What does this mean for renters? For current renters in place, your rent cannot be increased more than 10%. For folks who are prospective renters, the places you're applying for, the new rent can't be more than 10% over what was charged previously to the last renter, as long as that renter was there within the past year before the emergency order was declared. For properties where it's brand new to the market and hasn't been a rental or hasn't been rented out for over a year, we're going to run through the math on how to calculate what that rental rate will be. And let's run through the answers to some important questions. Number one is this just for wildfire victims? The answer is no. This is for anybody in that county, living in that county. These protections are in place. You do not have to be a victim of an emergency in order to receive this protection. Is it only for LA County? Again, no. In surrounding counties as well, they're affected by folks moving. Some of the folks in LA may decide to move to Orange County, Riverside, San Bernardino. That doesn't mean they can be price gouged there. The price gouging protections extend even if there isn't an emergency in that area. That's an important point from the Attorney General. What if in all the competition, renters are offering to pay more than 10%? The short answer is you can't accept that as a landlord. You cannot accept any more than 10%. So if you get a competition and people continue to bid it up, you have to make sure that the person you pick, no matter what they offered, do not pay more than 10%. The only way to increase above that 10% is if there were repairs or additions beyond normal wear and tear before that property was put on the market, and it can be amortized over the rental time period. And what if you are a victim of price gouging, but you need to live somewhere? We ran this by our eviction attorney friend Kenny Lim in our recent live stream.
I'm always going to choose your health and safety first and foremost. So if you want to lock it in and then say that that was price gouging, you can file your lawsuit down the road when you're in a better position to do so.
So landlords, again, be careful. If you've locked somebody into a higher than a 10% increase, you're going to want to go ahead and redraft that lease and even potentially give some money back so that you do not violate the price gouging laws. Another important point, we've released a lot of content on this, is that many properties throughout the state of California are covered by the Tenant Protection Act, and you aren't able to even increase to that 10% limit. So make sure you check out our Tenant Protection Act content for AB 1482. If a property hasn't been rented out before, or it's been longer than a year before the disaster that the property was rented out, we need to figure out how much rent can be charged for a particular property. It has nothing to do necessarily with comparable rents. So if you're in a neighborhood, for example, before we had the wildfires, where you could get $15,000 or more for a house that you leased out, that doesn't necessarily mean you can use those comps. You have to use what the law says. And what the law says is that it's based on the number of bedrooms. It's the fair market rent that HUD has established. So I'm going to show you how to do that calculation to figure out for your particular property, depending on where it is. And I have a link here. You can just Google it up. You can Google up the HUD fair market value for a given year. We're looking at 2025. Put in the state. You're going to select the county. And remember that the legislation affects surrounding counties. So just because we have the emergency order in LA County. Doesn't mean it's only LA, it also affects surrounding counties. So here we have it broken down by zip code for the fair market rents. So we can pick any particular zip code. We'll go with 90210 if you're old enough to remember that TV show. The number of bedrooms, that's the fair market rent, and it goes up to 4 bedrooms here. What if you have more than 4 bedrooms? What you do is you add 15% to the 4-bedroom number for each additional bedroom. So a 5-bedroom house would be 1.15 times the 4-bedroom number. A 6-bedroom house would be 1.3 times the 4-bedroom number. That's how you figure it out if you have additional bedrooms. We're gonna go with this 4-bedroom number here. So now it's math time. So get out your calculator and let's do this together. So we're gonna use a 4-bedroom home in 90210 that hasn't been rented in the past year. What is the maximum rent that can be charged? Well, we can see that for the fair market rent for a 4-bedroom, it is $5,550. The law says that we can charge up to 160% of that. So that's 1.6. So $8,880 would be the maximum rent for a 4-bedroom home in Beverly Hills in 90210 that could be charged under the law, assuming that the property hadn't been rented out or it was rented out over a year ago and was sitting there unrented for a year. Now, what if there's furniture? What the law says is that if there's furniture, you can add an additional 5%. So that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna say this is a furnished 4-bedroom Beverly Hills home. So the maximum rent that can be charged is $9,324 per month. Now, what if you're gonna go ahead and Airbnb it out? Well, using the $9,324, you break that down into the number of days, and that's the maximum you can charge. So you can see in some cases, this could exceed what normal rent would be, but in other cases, particularly luxury homes that are furnished, these numbers may actually be much smaller than a landlord could have received in a normal non-fire emergency market. But that's irrelevant. We have to use these numbers. We have 3 places you could potentially report price gouging, particularly related to rental housing. First one we're going to go over is the LA County Consumer and Business Affairs site. They have some great information here, including their online complaint reporting tools. When you click on their tool, you're going to go ahead and fill this information out. It's all online. They also offer a link if you'd prefer to send this in via paper, you can do that. Another great spot to report price gouging, again, all price gouging, but rental housing, that's what we're talking about in particular on this one. So you can file your consumer complaint at the Attorney General's office, and they've already received a bunch of them. They're already starting to go after people. So you're going to come here and use this online form to enter all this information. So this is another great tool for you to use. And this one's from the California Department of Real Estate. So this would be specifically related to housing and not an online system, but they offer a form that you can fill out and send into one of these offices. You can either mail it or hand deliver it. So this would be another route to go to report price gouging for rental housing. Let us know in the comments if you found any other good spots to report price gouging. One more important point, rely on official sources of information. Get direct links. Don't listen to hearsay. Go to the legislation. We have a link below so you can read Penal Code 396, and we have direct links to be able to report price gouging. Please, please protect yourself and watch out for scams from both sides. And also, please do not search for rental housing on Craigslist or on Facebook Marketplace. Those are 2 particular spots where we've seen way too many scams. So protect yourself in looking for rental housing. And remember, we can't give tax or legal advice, but for the most honest and up-to-date real estate advice, subscribe to this channel. If you found this helpful, make sure you like and subscribe, share it with people who you think need to hear this information, and subscribe to our free weekly email newsletter so updates like these are delivered straight to your email inbox every Sunday. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Christian Walsh, real estate agent with Wire Associates, and we can't wait to help you.